The movie starts with the reuse of the intro from the original movie, only this time there's a different poem warning about the problems you'll face when there's a lep in the hood. After a title sequence, we cut to Ice-T and his friend breaking into an old abandoned part of the subway, where they find the leprechaun in statue form with the medallion on and the pot of gold at his side. There's a flute we see Ice take. As his partner removes the medallion, the leprechaun comes to life, killing him. The leprechaun and Ice have a back and forth. We see him retrieve large objects from his afro in comedic fashion, and every sentence that the leprechaun says is a rhyme. Through luck, the medallion falls onto the leprechaun, turning him to stone once more. Cut to present day, we meet Postmaster P and his crew of rappers that preach positivity as they blow their chance to make it big. Trying to figure out a way to get money to replace their equipment, they run into Ice-T, now a big name in the rap game. He gives them a chance to listen to their music. But the crew's message doesn't quite fit with the style of his record label, and he wants to change it all up to a more negative message. Not agreeing, they're kicked out, losing their chance. Furious, Stray Bullet convinces Butch to rob Ice's place. Post, concerned for his friends, joins them. In the middle of the robbery, Post, out of fear, shoots Ice-T. Butch takes the medallion, and now the leprechaun is freed. And the crew opens fire on him without a second thought and flee the scene. Ice-T and the leprechaun smoke a joint together. Later, the crew is trading the gold for music equipment, and we find that Post's new flute can do more than just make air sound good. Back at his place, Ice finds they left the medallion. The leprechaun traces where his gold has been and kills off the suspects, but the crew has already been long gone. Post is upset about what he and his friends have done, and with Ice-T on their tail, they take refuge with a transgender woman. Post discovers the flute can make people enjoy your music more, and while he shares this news with the crew, the leprechaun and the transgender woman, let's just say he shows him what he's made of. Butch uses his big brain to ward off the leprechaun, and they use this chance to escape to a hideout at the church. And they help the choir. There's a comedic rap where they mix gangster rap and the Bible, and somehow Coolio is there to listen as well. Anyways, later Ice-T finds them. The leprechaun has already arrived. With them trapped between a rock and a hard place, the leprechaun scares off Ice-T and is trapped in a safe. He calls on his zombie fly girls. Yes, you heard that right, zombie fly girls. While the crew performs at a club, the preacher is killed by the leprechaun, distracted by the zombie fly girls. After the show, the crew is greeted by the fly girls, and in a depressing scene, after retrieving the flute, the leprechaun makes Stray Bullet kill himself. Afraid of the cops, they leave his body in a car far out for someone else to find. The leprechaun becomes a pimp with his zombie fly girls as he recruits more women, building an empire. Post and Butch come up with a plan to trick the leprechaun into smoking a joint laced with 4-leaf closers, while disguised as girls so they can retrieve the flute. We see the special joint is able to free the zombie fly girls from the leprechaun's control, and they're able to visit the leprechaun and manage to retrieve the flute. But during the exit, Butch and Post are shot at, and Butch is killed by a stray bullet. In a powerful scene, we see Post, the message of positivity, molded by all that has happened, now morphed into what he hates most, as he shoots down Ice-T. And now the leprechaun comes for his flute, but luckily Ice isn't dead. And in his last breath, he's able to end the reign of the leprechaun. The movie ends with Post, now a legendary rapper, but only a shadow of what he used to believe in, and a truly sad way to end things. My final thoughts for this pair of movies is if you want to see a great movie set in the hood where you follow a main character, watching him break his moral code until he becomes the very thing he despises, while you're also balancing humor, violence, and one never overpowers the other, I couldn't recommend Leprechaun in the Hood enough. It is a great movie, and I love watching it. The people in the movie are really great. It's a great story movie. like where you get to be in the lives of people. And I love watching people watch this for the first time, seeing their emotions go from laughing to fear to sadness back to laughter. This movie is able to do a lot of things right, and for that, it's my favorite Leprechaun movie. The sequel, Back to the Hood, sadly, is a watered-down version of this. It's still a good movie, but after following in the Hood, it pales in comparison. Rating the movies up to this point would be the second and fourth in dead last, the third and sixth tied in the middle, and the first and fifth, although I like the fifth a bit more than the first. Tomorrow I'll be reviewing Leprechaun Returns, the last movie in the franchise so far. Until then, bye!